which is something we've sort of seen before. You've seen this idea probably in previous math classes, but you may not have known it was called this. In fact, we started this called a functional equation. So actually, let's start with a functional description. We're going to often in the real world, your job is to begin with a functional description, and then you want to come up with the formula. So you might start with words that describe something about that, or you might start with a graph that describes something about that, or you might have something else. You might have data that describes something about it. But often your job is to take whatever information you have and you want to turn it into a formula. You could look at something that began with the description, price in US dollars of mailing a letter that weighs X ounces. This is a verbal description, and your job would be to come up with a formula that matches this description so you could know how much postage was going to cost. Or you could have someone say, I want to know a formula for a function that looks like this. It looks like a sudden spike. Can you give me the formula of something that looks like this? Or they may say, I know that I worked 1 hour and made $2 million. I worked 5 hours and made $10 million. Can you come up with a formula from this data? And often in previous math classes, you were given the function. Someone said, let f of x equals 3x plus 1. Let f of x equals 2x cubed plus sine of x. But what happens now is you begin to be in a situation where your job is to come up with the function. Now, there are still going to be instances where, you're working with a formula that someone else tells you. But this idea of starting with a functional description that is not a formula, and your job is to come up with the formula, that's really powerful. That's really one of the things that mathematicians do.